Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach, and today we have with us Colin Hogan, who is the Managing Director of Demo Duck. Colin, welcome to the program.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hey, so give us a little bit of a lead-in background on yourself, and then what the heck is a demo duck?
Yeah, of course. So I have always kind of been a bit duality in terms of like what I've done. Growing up, I was pretty decent student, but also did a lot of creative things on the side, namely in the video world. So shooting on a VHS camera with my siblings. Had a public access TV show in high school, went through college, got a finance degree, but still was doing some sketch comedy, some video comedy on the side. So that kind of carried through when I moved to Chicago. I'm from Maryland originally, moved to Chicago 10 years ago. Went through the comedy scene here while still working kind of a corporate job at a startup, bounced around at a bank for a little while, and eventually landed at Demo Duck through a mutual connection with someone that worked here. And it was a small company back then, about 5 people. Not that we're huge now. We're up to 13 or we'll be 14 here shortly. Came in kind of marketing manager role, moved up into kind of a creative lead position, and then about 2 years ago, moved into the managing director role as our founder kind of stepped away from the business and focused on some other entrepreneurial things that he had in mind for his kind of journey. And that kind of brought me here to where I am today.
Yeah, so what's the story behind the name of Demo Duck?
Oh, yeah, I forgot the most important part of your
question.
Right. That's a question we get asked quite often. So we knew we wanted demo in the name just from an SEO and keyword standpoint. Demo video is where we really started. That would just be, here's a phone and here's what your app looks like on the phone, or very much a kind of a straightforward explainer video. And as we got more into animation, and the term demo video kind of evolved into more of explainer video, and now that's evolved in terms of what we offer our clients. It's not just explainer video, branding video, testimonial. So we knew we had the demo part. We were really just looking for another word with 4 letters in it, preferably that kind of worked well with the demo side of things, and duck was just a pretty easy one to grab. So it's not a super great story in terms of where it started, but now we've really leaned into that. We got ducks all over the office. We got malware. Yeah. We got little chickadees, whatever it is. So, it's kind of a big part of our identity at this point. We're more so duck than we are demo now. So it's been a fun evolution over the last 8.5 years.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's kind of like how IHOP got that whole big branding PR deal a few months ago, going to IHOB, just kind of give people something to talk about, right?
Yeah, maybe we'll change our name in the future just for like a week, like they did.
Just to see what people do.
PR around it.
Ruffle the feathers, pun intended.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a question: business video. Like you were saying, there's kind of like been the transition between demo video to explainer whiteboard video to what are you seeing now when someone thinks about, I do need a video for my business? What is it that you're seeing is the hot need, and is that also congruent with what the market is consuming? And what I mean by that is you might be hearing corporate requests coming in going, hey, we need a corporate video where we want this, 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 and this. And you're like, that's all fine. We can do it. But let me just tell you something. Mm-hmm. The market's not consuming that. They're popping in on these 30-second videos, not 5-minute corporate videos. So what are you seeing in the industry right now?
Yeah, short is definitely a trend that you touched on towards the end there. I would say the biggest thing and biggest request that we've seen from clients, and the biggest recommendation we've also made, is putting in, it's kind of a buzzy term, but just thought leadership pieces out there. So It isn't saying, here's our product or service, here's why it's so great. It's here's our industry, and here's our thoughts on this aspect of our industry, or here's how things are changing within our world. So it's a little tough to kind of commit to, especially depending on what the marketing dollars look like in your budget for any given year, because it's hard to show the return on that. But, it's a matter of just kind of positioning, which I know is kind of your area of expertise of, hey, if we know everything about it, and you're kind of giving away that knowledge in a sense, but as companies try to work towards video and become more of like media organizations, it's not just, you can't just put sales content out there or very heavy marketing focused content. You have to just put yourself out as, a thought leader within the space, and video is a great way to do that, whether it's someone talking directly to camera or it's just an animated piece. Vox Media's really made a name within the explainer space, just explaining very complex topics and breaking them down to people so that they can be part of these conversations that are happening every day and be well informed within the conversations that they're having. So same kind of thing with businesses leveraging these thought leadership videos is they're starting conversations, they're joining conversations, they're driving conversations, and then when someone thinks about partnering with someone for whatever their need is in that particular space, especially in the B2B space, it's a good way to get your foot in the door and then hopefully win a bid based off of a video you made a year ago about a certain topic.
Yeah, and there's going to be many nuances to that, like hey, that's going to be evergreen content because it's our part of our corporate mission and vision. But then there's going to be some things you want to have in a video, maybe a quick one where it's relevant to something current. But what you mentioned makes me think of another question. Do you work with your clients helping them with strategy of the video? Because I feel like some people would come to you and go, "We need a video, guide me, Obi-Wan Kenobi." And you need to be able to say, what is it that sets yourself apart? Because we don't want to just do the standard headshot of the CEO saying we're awesome, but what is your competitive advantage? Let's articulate that in the realm of, like you said, thought leadership.
Yeah, so we definitely do guide that. And we have people that come and say, we have a marketing budget. We don't even know what videos we want to make, how many we want to make. Let's talk and figure out what that video roadmap looks like. But for those that come through with kind of a set agenda in mind or a set video or videos in mind, we really just ask why, and we have them fill out a creative brief, of course, but also, why do you think this is the best approach for this video? Why do you think this topic is worth exploring? And if it kind of pushes them in a sense to really reevaluate their own internal discussions of, why are we making this video? I know that someone maybe internally had seen a competitor do it, so we feel a need to kind of respond to that or put something out to make sure that we're not getting overshadowed, or somebody just had the idea one night and the CEO woke up in the middle of the night and said, I have to make this certain video. Those are valid reasons to get the conversation on video started, but making sure that before you invest the time and money and resources to actually create that video content, having a very solid reason of why you're creating it, and then on the back end of things, where it's going to live and how it's going to be shared with prospective customers, current customers, internal employees, whoever that target audience is, and breaking down the order of information that you include in the video based off of who that audience is and how they consume the content, knowing that you're going to get drop off as the video progresses.
In fact, I'm sure that part of your strategy is, what's the most important zinger that you must make sure that person viewing the video understands and front load it. Just have that in the very, very beginning in case or planning for that drop off, right? Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want to make sure that you're hooking them pretty quickly. I think typically we would even advise, the first 10 seconds you got to engage them, and then you can educate them throughout the rest of the duration of the video. But early on, whether that's through an emotional hook, or it's through a comedic hook, or it's getting that front loading it with a very important piece of like text as the first frame of your video that tells exactly what you're going to walk through or what your solution is. You got a very short period of time. You have to get them quickly before they click on another tab or flip to another web page or whatever it may be.
Do you find that the old school speaker presentation template is sometimes used in what you present, which is tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them, and then tell them what you just told them?
I think so. We typically do that, but a little bit more truncated. So I think ours would be more of problem / status quo, solution, features, benefits, and then call to action. Yeah. So the call to action is more of, obviously the next steps as opposed to here's what we just said. Right. So we try not to be too repetitive with things, but if it's a super simple solution and there's only one really big feature benefit for that solution, don't complicate it. Hit them with it once, maybe do it again, and then get out. But we kind of stray a little bit from that kind of speaker template in a sense, because that's a little bit more of a captive audience as well. Yeah. Typically, if you're presenting to people. well, hopefully they're not walking out while you're giving a speech, but for video, you
but
just
it's way
get through it
harder to
quickly.
do that than just clicking a new browser tab or shutting down the video. Let's hope.
Yep,
Hey,
exactly.
do you ever get requests for things that you either just won't do or can't do or is unrealistic? And where I'm thinking is, hey, my business needs a video. Please create me a viral video. And my question is, I personally don't think you can set out to create a viral video. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there's certain elements in a video that could lend itself to going viral, but there's never the perfect formula, perfect storm to go when you have a video that does this, boom, it's automatically viral. And I think that there's some companies out there that tout themselves to go, you want a viral video, come to us. And I just want to know, do you feel like in the business that you can, pretty much dial in, we've got the formula to create a viral video, come see us?
Yeah, I don't think that's possible, and I agree that there are people within our space that's kind of the hat or the hook to hang their hat on. But yeah, it really depends. Some companies can make a viral video. Like if Budweiser makes a digital ad, they have the dollars behind it and probably already have the subscribers and the social reach to make that video go viral pretty quickly. But smaller businesses and startups, it's you just never know. Dollar Shave Club is kind of one that is referenced often within our world. That guy made it for like, $4,000 I think on Saturday with some friends' help, and next thing you know, it kind of exploded. So
because it was goofy and unique. But haven't you ever had a friend that just hypes this movie and it's like, oh my word, this is the best thing ever, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go see it, and then you're like, wow, that wasn't all that. So it's almost like if you hype up like, here's this viral video, and then the chances that the viewer's like, okay.
Yeah, and I think it's the biggest thing I typically caution against is audiences and watching video, even I would say outside of business video, TVs, movies, they don't want to see the effort. It's pretty obvious if you're trying to go viral in a video with the way that you're acting, the way that it's written, or the concept, that it's like they're trying to be wacky and zany and out of this world, for the sense that they think that's going to be shared and go viral. I think you never really know what it's going to take. There's some things that you can maybe attempt to do and make it a little bit comedic or skewer something within your industry and be a little bit controversial. But if you really are just focused on making a viral video, that more times than not is going to fail.
Yeah, so set your expectation the right way when you're considering a business video. Yeah,
so, going viral is great, but having a really effective video that gets your business results, it doesn't need to go to 1 million people. If it just goes to 10,000 people that are decision makers at different organizations you're trying to engage with, that's going to be more impactful.
What do you feel like if you have a business come to you to say, we recognize the stats. Video is very, very engaging and relevant for today. And they say to you, here's the checkbook. What do we do? So maybe they just say to you, we want to start with just this one cornerstone video. What do you recommend that they're doing? What is that one video you must start with and nail before you move on to the next option?
I think the biggest thing would be a homepage video. So that would be when someone lands on your page, top of the fold, you have a big play button or the video is embedded. And now what that video is kind of depends on the business. Typically, it's an explainer video, anywhere from 60 to 90 seconds, that explains exactly what your product or service does. Again, goes through that kind of problem, solution, benefits, call to action kind of flow that I talked about earlier. But it also, if it can be shorter, if it's just a quick rundown of who you are and what you do and why it's different from other people and less explanatory, that works too. But getting something on your site right on that top of the fold that people can just click on as soon as they get there, it's going to increase the amount of time that people stick on your web page. It's going to help with your rankings. It's going to help with your brand. It's going to help with kind of the messaging around your product or service as well. That's typically where most people start, and then from there it can go a variety of ways, but get that homepage video, get it right, and get it up on the site.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. And it could have some elements of thought leadership in there and explaining your competitive advantage, because the worst thing in the world is just to have a Me Too style, an explainer video for the sake of having that style. But somehow you need to be able to articulate, hey, all the rest does business this way, but here's what sets us apart. And do you make sure that is happening for your clients?
Yeah, and I think sometimes that's even tricky for people to commit to, because what they do differently, they might be worried about, especially if it's a process. So if it's like a service-based organization and some part of their process is proprietary, unique to their company, they get a little bit nervous about putting that out in the world and putting that right on the homepage. But we don't want to scare people off.
We might be too different.
Yeah, but you have to at least allude to it. You have to be pretty transparent with that. And if people are already on your site, they're one step closer to contacting you and becoming, a lead and then eventually a customer. So you kind of just have to take that leap of faith and put as much information in that you're comfortable with, and maybe a little bit more to make sure that someone's walking away knowing exactly who you are, what you do. Sometimes it's even like how your business model works, because if there's things that some feel too good to be true, it's like, okay, that sounds great, but like, how this seems shady, how is this company making money? And then it's like, oh, you don't have to pay for it because we get, it's ad revenue driven or whatever it is. It's like, oh, then the light clicks of that's legit. I see how they're making money. Okay.
So now I'll allow myself to listen a little closer to your next step, because now I see that's justifiable. Yeah, exactly. So let's say that homepage video is done, nailed, they like it. What do you recommend? Is that like, yay, you can check the box that your business now has a video, see you next, 10 years from now? It needs to be something consistent, right? So maybe it's, building out your YouTube channel with those nuggets of thought leadership, because in reality, if you were to say to, your last 10 clients, all right, sit down right now and write down the top 10 main questions that if your target audience prospect knew about your business, that they would go, ooh, we need to talk. So maybe you make short little snippet videos on each one of those, so that it kind of lays that breadcrumb trail. Is that something that you work with clients or recommend as well?
Yeah, so that's a great point. And we've done that a lot. So I would say two of the big trends we've seen. I alluded to the thought leadership as one. And that typically starts with people saying, hey, here's our 5 most popular blog posts, but right now they're just written posts. We want to turn these written blog posts into video content, because obviously if they're the 5 most popular ones, they're resonating with the target audience. The other one is people's FAQ page. I think that's a great way to already have the content laid out. If these are the top questions we get, we want to answer them through short snippets of content for a YouTube page. We want to just put them out on social media, whatever it may be. So I think those are 2 great routes to go. The other popular option and suggestion we make is, can we just take a few of the features and benefits listed in your 60 to 90 second homepage video and isolate those into 10 to 15 second snippets that you can, especially for pre-roll ads or paid social content, use in a way that is going to resonate with the people that are there, and especially if you can figure out, with all the demographics that can really hone down through those different paid digital channels, finding the most relevant feature and benefit to highlight for that specific audience and that specific job title is a good way to make the most on the promotional dollar side of things.
Yeah, because you don't want to hang your hat on the fact that, all of that was in our explainer video, 90 second on the homepage, because when did that person drop off in not watching the video, or when did it kind of just go in one ear and out the other? So if you did drill deeper on a couple of those differentiating factors, then you could feel like, okay, good, now this is making sure that our target audience really gets this piece of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of alluded to the job titles earlier, but, the typical 3 features would be, save time, save money, and, move faster on top of that, or have, less manpower involved with the process as it currently stands. So the save time, that's going to maybe be more beneficial or more appealing to individual contributors at the business you're trying to engage with, as opposed to save money. That's going to be the CFOs, the C-suite executives, people that are managing the P&L are going to be concerned with that. So you can can you make little 10-second videos around those features and then target it out to those specific audience so that somebody that isn't managing the budget isn't getting hit with a bunch of things about how it's going to save your company a bunch of money, because that's not maybe super important to them, but they don't have to sift through as much paperwork, and this part of the process that's a total pain in the neck is now automated. You can really target them and get that short video that highlights that feature in front of them more often.
So let's wrap up with this last thought. If someone is considering a video for their business and they're thinking about, the saving time aspect, don't you feel like they might be worried in their mind, I don't even know where to start. I think this is just, going to be a big, mess, and I don't even want to begin it because I don't know the process. I wonder if it'll be too hard, take too many of my team's resources. What do you guys do to help a company realize we got this, we're going to take the lead, we're going to make sure it's nice and smooth and delivered nice and quickly for you?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just putting pen to paper and creating a production timeline, and that can be across multiple videos, but it's probably a little bit more holistic, where it's not just here's what the next few weeks look like, here's what the next few months look like. You're getting video 1 here, video 2 here, and once you see that part of things start to come together, and also where your team's looped into the process, because the way we work with our clients, they don't say we want a video and we say, great, here's a creative brief, fill it out. We get it back, and then we go into a cave and create a video, and
and hope you like it.
10 weeks later, here it is.
Yep.
We loop them into the process, but part of the upfront conversations that we have is how many people on your end want to be looped in. We can do a couple of revisions for each step, or we just do a couple of revisions throughout the entire production process, because we want you to be looped in, but we also don't want to give you too much to do throughout the process, because you're hiring us for a reason and you got a lot of other things going on. So you want to make sure that you're feeling good about the process and it's not just another thing that you have to do. But ultimately, if you're just looking to get started with video at all, you could just grab your iPhone, get in front of a window with some decent lighting and shoot some things that you just throw up on LinkedIn, some of those thought leadership things that I alluded to earlier, especially if there's a lot happening within your industry and you have to be a little bit more reactive and it's not going to be as evergreen. There's a change in tax law, or there's a something that's making the news cycle about one of your competitors, and you need to kind of put some content out there to show where you stand on a certain issue or whatever it may be. Just, shoot it with the iPhone real quick, get it done in 30 to 45 seconds, be concise, and throw it up on, the appropriate channels. Maybe not put that on your homepage, because that could give off the wrong impression. But if it's a quick down and dirty iPhone or, smartphone video that you just shoot real quick, just get it out there for, the 2-3 days it lives in someone's feed, and then move on from.
Yeah, excellent. Well, Colin, thanks so much for coming on. It was really great chatting about video strategy. And if people want to reach out and connect with you guys, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, just head to demoduck.com. You can see a lot of our portfolio work, a lot of our video partners that we've been working with over the last couple of years to create content over a longer term engagement, and get in touch with us through there.
Excellent. Well, hey, thanks so much. We'll make sure we have the direct link right in the show notes, and hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you, Colin.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.